What is going on, everybody? This is a special episode of Unscripted. We're going on a little bit early tonight because I was talking with my boy Jay McLovin, as you guys can see here, representing H-Town. And we decided, we did a little bit of a segment on our previous show on Tuesday talking about the Negro League players and how outstanding they were. We decided we wanted to give them their own time to shine. That way we could give them the proper respect that they rightfully deserve. But hey, as you guys know, I'm going to be your moderator this evening, Logan Landers, getting back in the role, Jay. After the first couple of episodes, we've had Melanie doing an amazing job. But hey, I'm ready to rock this, Jay. How you doing tonight, first off?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm really good, and I'm excited to talk about these players. Again, we're celebrating continuation of Black History Month, and there's lots and lots to talk about. So I'm looking forward to this show, my brother.
Let's do it. All right, Jay, I'm going to let you start things off. Let's get with your guy first. We got John Henry Pop Lloyd. Tell the fans about him.
All right, so John Henry Pop Lloyd, better known as El Cachara. El Cachara is his name, right? So he was a shortstop and a manager. Like most of these players that play in the Negro League, which is different from MLB itself, most of these players are players and managers, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them are players and managers, and or they're both.
Right? Yeah, that's true.
So, and if you can see, that's like a common theme, right? So again, he's a player and a manager and a player manager. So he was considered the greatest shortstop in the Negro League history.
Wow.
Greatest shortstop in Negro League history. Matter of fact, Babe Ruth himself believed and reported that Lloyd was the greatest baseball player ever. Now, for the Bambino to come out and say that at a time that maybe it wasn't actually good to say something like that, that speaks volumes.
Mm-hmm.
It speaks volumes for how good of a player, no matter what his color of his skin was, no matter what his orientation or anything, the guy looked at the man, the soul of the man, and said, "This guy is flat out the best player on planet Earth."
Right.
Okay. So Lloyd's batting average was about 343. He was a heavy hitter, and he batted always in a cleanup position. He was an expert place hitter. This guy did not go yard. No. He was a place hitter and a bunt specialist. I mean, that's all he did was place his hits and bunt. He was an inside the park hitter, which can be deadly. I mean, you don't always have to hit the long ball to be great.
Right. Kind of like an Ichiro type of player.
Yeah, you could be a great place hitter and still have the same notoriety as a guy who hits the ball yard, like Barry Bonds or Babe Ruth or Hank Aaron or whoever else, may be your favorite player, right?
Exactly.
It's believed, and he has been referred to as the Black the Black Wagner. He has been called and referred to as the Black Wagner. He said, "Now, Jay, what do you mean Black Wagner?" That is a tribute to Honus Wagner. He was called Black Wagner, but it's a tribute to Honus Wagner. That's basically saying like this guy was that good, right? Because we all have Honus Wagner at a pretty high level, and this guy was that version of him, if not better, according to Babe Ruth or whoever it is you talk to. This guy was a creme de la creme, cream of the crop guy and manager. He was the most. Now, Logan, this is where it gets interesting. This is how good this guy was. He was so good, in fact, that he signed 3 contracts at the same time.
Whew. Yeah, I don't think that's ever been done before. I don't remember it.
At the same time? Yes. And it went to court, and they battled it out in court, and it went back to the original contract that he signed first. And that's how he became where he went to. But this guy was so sought after that people were putting contracts right and left. And I guess, I don't know if the guy just forgot that he had already signed a contract, but the man signed 3 contracts and it went to court, and it eventually got settled. But I just want you to remember, this guy is the bomb, man. Like I said, cream of the cream. Nobody better than this guy, according to Babe Ruth. And I gotta tell you, for everybody knows, man, until Hank Aaron broke his record, Babe Ruth was like the guy. Mm-hmm. In Major League Baseball, he was the guy until Hank Aaron broke his record, right? But he was a great pitcher. He was a great hitter. So for Babe Ruth to come out and say and acknowledge and say that this guy was better than him, that this guy was the best in baseball, I mean, that's a pretty high accolade. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's really impressive.
That was Pop Lloyd, El Cachado.
Okay, yeah. It's always great to learn about all these guys that, kind of get lost in history, Jay. We said on the last show that, we're approaching, it's 2021 right now. These guys were playing in the 1920s. So it's over 100 years now that these guys were playing, and there's been a lot of baseball since then. There really has. It's great to always just look back and talk about these guys and how great they were. I mean, hell, the guy signed 3 contracts. He's got to be pretty solid, I would think, if you would be called the Black Wagner compared to the great Honus Wagner, and Babe Ruth saying he was one of the best players of all time. So, see, that's just something you don't think of every day. You don't realize that people were getting great deals like that. People were getting revered like that as well. So it's just great to talk about. But Jay, you also have another one here that you were telling me about, a man by the name of Dick Lundy. Why don't you tell the fans a little bit about that?
Real quick, before I go into Dick Lundy, I meant to do this before I did anything, and I actually skipped over, and I apologize. But yesterday, like I was telling you earlier in pregame, yesterday, February 10th, 1971, was the anniversary of Bill White. Bill White was the first black announcer in Major League Baseball history. He joined the New York Yankees WPIX broadcast team in 1971, and he became the first black announcer ever to announce in the game of baseball. 1971, February 10th was his anniversary date, and in honor of Black History Month, I just wanted to celebrate Mr. White's contributions to the game of baseball, not only as an announcer, but as a baseball player for the St. Louis Cardinals. Okay. Yeah. So congratulations, and again, Mr. White, on your anniversary of your epic feats to further Black history. All right, we're going to jump into Dick Lundy. Richard Lundy was actually his name, but he went by Dick Lundy, or he went by King Richard. Those were his nicknames.
Okay.
Now, he ties in, as you'll see in a minute, I'm gonna explain to you, but he actually ties in with Pop Lloyd, and I'll get to that in a minute. But as far as Mr. Lundy himself is concerned, he was all in. He basically played all positions. He played first, second, third, catcher. I don't think he did pitcher, but he did every position in the infield that you could play, and he was also a manager in Major League Baseball. He was a switch hitter, so he hit both left and right. He threw right-handed, but he was a switch hitter. He was the best shortstop in the 1920s, not in all of baseball, because that belongs to Pop Lloyd. But in the 1920s, he was considered the number one shortstop in Negro League Baseball. He basically bridged the gap between John Lloyd and Willie Wells. So if you're not tracking that, he bridged the gap between John Lloyd and Willie Wells. There's 3 great shortstops in the League of Baseball, or in the Negro League history. There was 3 great shortstops. First one was Pop Lloyd. Second one was Willie Wells. And third one was Dick Lundy. Not necessarily in that specific order, but those were the 3 greatest in the Negro Leagues in terms of the shortstop position. And he bridged the gap between Lloyd and Willie Wells.
Okay.
All right. Like I said, he was a great fielder. He had a wide range and a very strong arm. That means he was allowed to play deep in the pocket at shortstop. He didn't have to hit up on the line. He played deep because he had such a strong arm, and it was very accurate. And he hit for average with power. So he averaged around 343, 330. That was around his batting average. And he led the Cuban Winter Leagues in stolen bases in 1924. So in 1924, he led the Cuban Winter League teams in stolen bases. He was in such and so that's basically Dick Lundy in the short. And I want to go back and correct myself. I said that Pop Lloyd had signed 3 contracts, and I apologize. It wasn't Pop Lloyd that signed 3 contracts. It was Dick Lundy that signed 3 contracts. So I apologize. I had my papers mixed up. Yeah, that's what happens when you don't number your pages. But yeah, it was Dick Lundy that actually signed 3 contracts. And like I said, he was probably one of the best that played the game outside of Mr. Wagner or outside of Mr. Lloyd himself, which, like I said, Babe Ruth considered to be the best in all of baseball.
Wow.
And here's how the two tie in together. So when Dick Lundy played baseball, one of the managers, one of the teams, and I apologize, I didn't write down the team that he actually did this for. I apologize, but John Pop Lloyd was manager and player over him. So I think Dick Lundy played shortstop, and Lloyd played second base. And he was also the manager of the club. So he was actually Dick Lundy's manager. But he had two of the greatest shortstops, 2 out of the 3 on one team. And John Pop Lloyd was the manager and the player on that team. So these guys have a heavy tie, not only in being the greats of the shortstop legacies in Negro League history, but also being player manager on the same team as well. So hats off to Mr. Lundy for all that you did for the game of baseball. And hats off again for Mr. John Pop Lloyd for what he did for the game of baseball. These are 2 greats and should not ever be forgotten about. Like I said, they've contributed great things towards the game of baseball.
Yeah, those 2 are definitely great guys, Jay. Awesome topic, bring up those 2 guys. Absolute great, amazing players that it's always great to learn more about. We got Joshua Bailey saying that he's learned something today. Always great that we can provide some of that knowledge to you guys. We got Northeast Streaming Sports, our guys chiming in where we are live in the UK right now. As always, thanks to you guys, as well as BS3 Radio by Spreaker helping us do our thing. But hey, let's get on to my top, Jay. And I got a quick video real quick talking about my guy, talking about the big righty, Smokey Joe Williams. Let me play that video for you guys real quick. It's about a minute long. All right, we've had some audio issues as always on this show, Jay. Apparently, the people can't hear it. I can hear it fine. I played it before we started the show. I could hear it fine. But I'll just give a quick rundown of our guy Smokey Joe. Hell of a ball player, first off, let me just say. But man, he was very impressive in how he conducted himself and just the impact he had on the game of baseball. So I'm looking at, he is in the Hall of Fame, Jay. He did make the MLB Hall of Fame in 1999. He went in from the Veterans Committee. Which is where a good majority of the Negro League players went in because, that's just how they were. That's how they got in. They retired real early and everything, and that's just the best way they could get in is from the Veterans Committee. So that's how our guy Smokey Joe Williams, got a picture of him up here. That's how he was able to get in. So a little bit about Smokey Joe real quick before we wrap things up in just a second. Man, this guy was real impressive. I mean, real impressive, Jay. He struck out 30 batters in a 12-inning game once. 30.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Wait. You said he struck out 30?
Hold on, wait, pause. Let me see it real quick. No, my bad. Sorry. He struck out 27. He was a 30-game winner. That's what it is. My bad.
Oh, okay. That sounds more like he would have went into overtime.
Regardless, though, I'm sure he could strike out 30. He was close enough to it. But Ty Cobb,
crazy.
Yeah, it is. But we all know Ty Cobb, one of the most famous players in MLB history, a great Detroit Tiger. He did say that Smokey Joe Williams would be a for sure 30-game winner in the MLB if he played during that time. He had a heck of a fastball. There was a quote saying that they had to have 2 catchers for him. So that way one of the catchers would be through 5 innings, and then his hand would be so swollen from catching this guy's fastball. Because they said he had an absolute heater for a fastball. They'd have to replace the catcher and get a new one in there because his hand would be cramping so much. So that just tells you just how fast this guy's fastball was and how impressive it was, man, because this guy was throwing some absolute heat. And, I mean, I do see a quote here from another Negro League pitcher by the name of Sam Streeter saying that he would pick Smokey Joe because even though they do talk about Satchel Paige throwing hard, he thinks that Joe threw harder. So that's just saying something, man. Because we all know that whenever you talk about the Negro League, Satchel Paige is always one of the first guys to come up and one of the first pitchers. But I think that people need to start looking more at Smokey Joe Williams, man, because he has an absolute cannon on his arm, and he was able to do some great things in baseball for the Negro Leagues and during his time there. And man, he's pitching a lot of guys. And Jay, he's representing you a little bit. He's out of Texas, so the big righty from Texas. Nice. So he was doing some good work out there, man. But yeah, Smokey Joe Williams, heck of a ball player, and just all around, just an amazing player. Like you said, Jay, it's always amazing that we can go back, especially for this week with Black History Month going on. And we have another show coming up on Saturday at noon per usual for Unscripted, where we are going to be talking about our last set of Negro League players for this week. But man, it's been really fun just talking about these guys and learning more about them. It's been a heck of a time.
Hey, real quick, before we round that show out and get ready for the next show, the one thing I want to point people out, or people understand, people, they recognize the big names, right? Josh Gibson, Satchel Paige, Jackie Robinson, stuff like that. But what people don't understand is Satchel Paige was a great pitcher, no doubt. No doubt Satchel Paige was a great pitcher. But there were other guys out there that were more lethal and more deadlier than even Satchel Paige. Like I said, like I covered on Tuesday, Bullet Rogan. Rogan was a great pitcher, but he was an equal, even better hitter.
Yeah.
And who do you want on your team? Honestly, if you had to choose between a pitcher or a pitcher hitter, I'm going to go with the pitcher hitter every time because as great as Satchel Paige was, if he's a liability on the hitting end of the stick or the offensive side of the stick, he's not going to do me as much good as, let's say, a Bullet Rogan would have done. And people don't understand. The reason why we're doing this show isn't necessarily to – it is to talk about Black History Month. It is to talk about the Negro Leagues, things like that. But it's really to highlight the players that most people don't know about that have done great things and contributed great things to the game of baseball since they are being integrated to Major League Baseball as of late. We want to bring out the people that maybe most people don't know about or don't talk about, like the Dick Lundys, the Pop Lloyds, whatever. Because there's some really talented people out there that maybe aren't in the limelight of the of the Satchel Pages and Josh Gibsons and such going forward. So that's what we want to do. We want to celebrate the lesser known people, but yet have contributed great things, even more great things than the popular ones.
Yeah, and you said it great, Jay. We're here to celebrate as well as educate, man, because it's awesome that I don't know about you personally, but for myself, looking up just all the players that we've done so far and the ones we're going to be doing on Saturday, it's been a heck of a fun ride, man, just seeing how dominating these guys were back in the 20s and 30s and just how amazing that they are. And it's always good. We see our guy Josh Bailey in the comments giving us some claps, round of applause. So, and he said he's going to go looking more some Smokey Joe stuff. Josh, I really hope, man, just check out our show on Tuesday. We did some more great Negro League players on Tuesday, and we're going to have 2 more coming up on Saturday as well. So, hey, Jay, we've had a great show, man, but it's time to get into our main one now. We got Unscripted coming up in just a second, guys. Thank you all for tuning in to our very special Negro League Week episode where we've done profiles about 2 talented players. Hey, for my guy, Jay McLovin, I'm Logan Landers. We have to say thank you to BS3 Radio with Spreaker and also our guys, our dudes at Northeast Streaming Sports for helping us put all this together. We'll see you guys at Unscripted in just a minute.
You're listening to Unscripted on Northeast Streaming Sports.